With just 12 points in the last 4 games, is now the time to sell Erling Haaland? Welcome to the Gianni YouTube show. Hope you guys are well. You're looking forward to game week 10. This is my team selection video. We've got so much to run through in today's show. It's going to be an update on some of my players. We're going to look forward to my future plans, and I'm going to give you 3 options as to what I might do with my team. One big discussion point, though, is going to be Erling Haaland. Stay tuned for that. If you're enjoying the show so far, please do hit that like button, but also subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. That would mean a lot. Without further ado, though, let me show you my team. Let's just run through it. In goal, by the way, Fabianski started last time out when West Ham beat Man United. If you've got Fabianski on your bench, you might be able to start rotating him and actually playing him. Let's see if he keeps his spot over Areola. Sells and Fabianski play each other this week, so Sells is clearly my number one. But in future weeks, Fabianski might be getting some game time. Trent and Rico Lewis are there, and I've got Mykolenko as my first defensive sub. If, of course, Gabriel doesn't play. What do we make of the Gabriel situation? I mean, it needs to be discussed because with Arteta, we're probably going to be playing guessing games. However, he was quoted midweek saying, we're still assessing him. He doesn't look bad at all. It was much better the next day. He's done some tests. We saw him, of course, with ice on his knee. In the same press conference, Arteta did say, Calafiori's out for a few weeks. So he gave us some accuracy there. You've got to think with that news, Gabriel's not missing more than a week. Does he play this weekend? I'm probably 50-50. He's either going to start or not play at all. So if he's in your team, you may as well chuck him in there. Is he a sell? I don't think he is. So Gabriel is there. If not, very happy for Mykolenko to come in. Greaves is out with a hamstring injury, of course. My midfield looks great with Palmer playing against his boyhood team, Man United. Yeah, he's a legit captaincy option this week. We'll talk about captaincy later. Mbeumo, Foden and Rodgers complete the midfield. Let's just quickly discuss Mbeumo and Brentford. Guys, he is in must-have, essential, like in that category. It's a dangerous term. There's 500 players in FPL, more. To use There's loads of ways we can play our teams. Like you may have said at the start of the season, Haaland's essential. Is Haaland essential now? Absolutely not. Brian Mbeumo feels like an essential player. Brentford's XG, by the way, is currently 5th in the Premier League, and they're joint 3rd for goals scored. Yeah, they're doing well, and he's clearly the talisman. There's a part of me that wants to double up on that attack with Johan Visser, and we'll talk more about him later as well. But Brentford, clearly a legit option. And Foden, we have to touch on because Foden's staying in my team. I tweeted this when I saw Guardiola saying De Bruyne still can't play. He's going to be out until, well, for the next few games, certainly until after the international break. So Foden, very much still a good pick. Really unlucky not to get returns last time out, Phil Foden. Of course he was, like all those chances missed from Haaland. So look, that's my midfield. And then the front line, of course, we've got Haaland, we've got Solanke and Calvert-Lewin. Now, both the Dominics, Solanke and Calvert-Lewin, they have to be on borrowed time, don't they? The big question is do I sell them this week, next week, or the week after? And I think I know where I'm heading there. Erling Haaland is even up for debate like this week, massively, by the way. Before we get to Haaland, though, let's just touch on Calvert-Lewin. 22% of... This was just according to FPL Twitter. I polled this earlier in the week. 38% didn't own him. So from the 60% that owned him, 2/3 are holding and 1/3 are selling. Right? The majority, if you have Calvert-Lewin, are probably holding him just because it's Southampton. Southampton conceded 2 goals to Stoke in the week in the Carabao Cup. Calvert-Lewin has a strong fixture here. But we've been here before, haven't we? We've been here before. And then we have to talk about Erling Haaland. He clocked, this is just all my tweets in the week, but I hope it's topical and worth showing you guys. You were unlucky. I was unlucky. I triple captained him against Southampton. He's not had as high an XG ever, other than the West Ham game. 2.11, which was actually boosted, I think, to like 2.3 XG for Haaland. He should have scored a hat-trick. He scored 1. No bonus points. 6 points. It was a miserable outcome. I think the decision was right. And I think it's very dangerous, of course, to sell him. His XG numbers were so good. But if we go just purely off player value, the Premier League have put out the chart of points per million, right? Now, Haaland, sure, he's got the most points of all forwards. But points per million, he gets like 4.9 points for every million you spend. Someone like a Jackson, a Chris Wood, a Danny Welbeck, way better value. Raul Jimenez, of course. The thing is, with this discussion, points per million can be a dangerous term because, of course, we're thinking of captaincy. It plays a massive part of the game, and Haaland is a captaincy option. Therefore, his value is less important because we get double points from him if we go there. You're probably not captaining Raul Jimenez or Kai Havertz very often. Guys, do hit that like button and subscribe. We're going to talk about my team and what direction I might go in. Just want to give a shout out to OneFootball. If you're not already on the OneFootball app, what are you doing? Honestly, you're going to love it. It's a free football app. You all have football apps on your phone, right? If you want to check out live scores, if you want to check out football news, video clips for both Premier League but other leagues, I use it for Serie A a lot, Champions League too. OneFootball's the best. Get it on your phone, link in description, scan the QR code. I think you'll love it. So let's have a look at my team, shall we? The options I've got, well, options are plenty. I have narrowed it down, though, to just 3 headline options, and I will be definitely backing one of these 3. So look, when we look at my team, my bus team, I'm feeling all right. We're going to put captaincy on Erling Haaland at the moment. We'll discuss captaincy later because I think Cole Palmer's a legit option for me if I don't make the transfer. However, if I do make a transfer, let me present you with 3 options. Option 1 would involve a captaincy switch. Option 1 would involve selling Erling Haaland, selling, say, Dibbling in midfield, and then having a ton of money. I've got 0.0 in the bank and I've got 1 transfer. This would require a 4-point hit option 1. That's a -4 on option 1. It involves bringing Mo Salah in. And I'm genuinely tempted. So I could buy, say, a Cunha for Wolves and a Salah for Dibbling, for Liverpool, but in replace of Dibbling. And I have a nice budget forward option in Cunha. Great fixtures, 6.5 million, penalties, 2 9-point returns in the last 3 weeks. Cunha's clearly a great shout if you're shopping for that sort of budget to mid-price forward. Chris Wood would be an option, but I would go Cunha. Okay. And then Mo Salah presents us with the best captaincy option of the week, isn't he? Who do you prefer? Salah at home to Brighton, home being the key word, and Brighton probably without Lewis Dunk, and their dangerous high line. They conceded 4 at Stamford Bridge not long ago, remember? They come out and they play. Or Haaland going to Bournemouth, who have beaten Arsenal at the Vitality and caused Chelsea real problems at the Vitality already this season. I'd have to say Salah is the best captaincy option this week. Therefore, I always say 4-point hits are worth it if you're bringing in a player to captain them, right? It's an option I've got. It's a legit option I've got. I look at future weeks and think going without Haaland would be scary. Do I really want to commit to that? Because if you're going without Haaland now, you're not just going to bring him back in next week, right? Haaland's fixtures, it's Bournemouth away. He then plays Brighton, but it's away. I still think that's a good fixture game, week 11. And then he's got Spurs and Liverpool, so you could argue it's a tough 4-game run. But Spurs at home, I think it's a good fixture for City. Liverpool on the road is clearly a tough one. It's not a great fixture on for Erling Haaland. And when we look at his points in the last few weeks, it's been poor. But if we go off the fact he has been scoring the Champions League, he has been getting the XG in the Premier League, this seems like such a dangerous sell. I don't know if I could go through with it. I'll give you a percentage chance on all 3 of these options in just a second. Guys, if you're enjoying the show, by the way, the algorithm on YouTube loves a like. It will show my video to more people, and it loves seeing people subscribing. If those 2 things happen, it massively helps me out. So hit the buttons if you fancy it. And drop a comment too. I'll reply to as many comments as I can. Option 2 is more simple. Much more simple. It's getting rid of bloody Dominic. You might say, what? Solanke? No. Calvert-Lewin for Johan Visser. Now, I can't sell Calvert-Lewin to a Chris Wood or a Cunha because I've got no money in the bank. And I wouldn't want to sell him on a hit. I could, however, sell him for Johan Visser. Right? I can afford Visser, I can afford Jimenez, I can afford Strand Larsen. I think Visser's the best of the 3, and I like Visser very, very much. We showed you Brentford's XG, they're 5th. They produce big chances. Their fixtures are all right. However, they are away at Fulham this weekend. And Calvert-Lewin's away at Southampton. Now, I look at those 2 fixtures. Calvert-Lewin clearly has the better fixture. Is that a move I could make maybe next week instead? Next week, Visser plays at home, and I much prefer Bournemouth at home. They're top of the Premier League charts for home form, Bottom of the Premier League for away form, by the way, although their away fixtures have been tough. But I could buy Johan Visser next week. Home fixture versus Bournemouth. Calvert-Lewin, on the other hand, away to West Ham. I definitely want to make the move next week if I don't this week. So that's an option. I probably think Calvert-Lewin is worth giving one more week though, isn't he? And then option number 3 is simply to roll, right? So if we go back to my bus team and we look at it, where am I likely to go? Let's just drop Mo Salah in and try him on for size, shall we? We'll drop Cunha in as well. So this is option 1. See you later, Diblin. See you later, Haaland. Captain Mo Salah. I'm very happy, but this is a -4. I would say I'm 25% likely to do this because I do think long-term I want Erling Haaland in my team. I don't think I can consider really selling Erling Haaland, despite Salah being the best captaincy option. He is my only route, really, to getting Mo Salah. Otherwise, I've got to sell a Trent. And actually, I'd be selling a Trent, but also selling someone like a Foden to get up to a Mo Salah. Let me know in the comments if you think ways I can get Salah in 2 moves, but I'm not really willing to sell Foden. And I don't want to sell Trent either. So I feel like the only way would be a Haaland sell, which I don't think I'm willing to do. So option 1, I'm 25% likely. Option 2, again, I would say I'm 30% likely. Let's go with that, shall we? So let's put Haaland back in, Diblin's back in, but look, sure, we're going to now put Visser in. I like this a lot. And it's an option. It's a strong option at 30%, right? I just don't know if this is the move I make next week instead. And then let's go to option 3, which is actually the bus team I presented. I would say I'm 45% likely to do this. Stick to my guns. Have 2 transfers next week. Probably still sell Calvert-Lewin next week unless he really impresses against Southampton. And then reassess and having 2 free transfers. This does, however, commit me to a future without Mo Salah, who, look, he scored a lot more points than Erling Haaland so far this season. Don't know how I feel about it. I want him for this week, but moving forward, I think I want Haaland if I've given the choice of just one. Captaincy needs to be discussed. It's between Haaland and Palmer for me. The vice is currently on Palmer. Captaincy is currently on Haaland. That could change. I do wonder with Man United, new manager bounce is strong because it's going to be Van Nistelrooy in the dugout, right? Not much will have changed for the weekend in the dugout. But do players give a little extra 10% as a bit of a FU to Ten Hag? Maybe they do. He clearly lost the dressing room. He wasn't popular. United players will want to put a shift in because new managers watching. That maybe puts me off Cole Palmer. I think at the start of the week, I was very close to captaining Cole Palmer. Maybe it was a 50-50. Now maybe I'm more 60-40 on Haaland. And I guess I'm just backing Haaland to go big against Bournemouth. The Bournemouth fixture is a bit of a tricky one because there's 2 schools of thought. Bournemouth have a good chance of getting something, as they did against Arsenal, and they ran Chelsea really close. But they will also come and play. That could play into Haaland's hands, right? Coming to play against Man City, going toe-to-toe to them is a dangerous game. Not many teams can out-football Man City, even on their home pitch. That could play into Man City's hands. Therefore, I think Haaland is still probably the best captaincy option for me. If you own Mo Salah, though, home to Brighton is without doubt my preference, which is why that option 1 is niggling away at me. I will be tweeting. No, do you know what? As always, it'll be on Instagram first. I'll be locking in my team on Instagram. There may even be a bit of a deadline stream. I'm not sure this week. Do check my lives out, though. I'm doing Sunday lives every morning. They are wicked, reviewing everything that's just gone. I hope you're enjoying them. And for now, guys, I will say goodbye. Thank you for watching. On the way out, like, and hit that subscribe button for me. Cheers, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.